put me inside of the comment section. I was sitting down inside of a marriage therapy session, and oftentimes this particular company who I partner with, they bring me in to sit down with some of their people that they are mentoring and doing marriage counseling with. And when they bring me in to have a marriage counseling session, they're not bringing me in to give them advice. This is what they're doing. They're bringing me in to give advice about money and to help them be aligned together when it comes to their finances. When I stepped back and I was just realizing that, wow, I'm having this conversation with these people who are newly married, but they didn't have a conversation about money before they even got engaged. A study recently came out and revealed that nearly 80% of married couples did not have an in-depth conversation about finances. But can I be real with you all? Because I keep it real relevant and relatable on my show here. We talked about sex. We talked about, married couples. They talked about what's their favorite sexual position. They talked about what kind of ring they wanted. They talked about what kind of dress she wanted. They talked about what kind of house they really wanted. They talked about the car. They talked about the vacations, the vacations that they wanted. They talked about how many kids they wanted, but we never had an in-depth conversation about money. 41% of divorces are caused by financial, watch this, incompatibility. It's not caused by the lack of money. 41% of marriages that are failing is because we were incompatible. In other words, spiritually, we were unequally yoked and we didn't have the conversation about money before we even got there. We didn't have the conversation about money. About money. Hold on, I gotta block people coming in here. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get rid of people. I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing that. We didn't have the conversation. A study by my good friends over at Ramsey Solutions found that disagreements about money were the second leading cause of divorce, with financial unequally yoked partners often starting before marriages. What does this mean? What does this mean? Hold on, wait a minute. This means that incompatibility doesn't mean that we didn't have the money. It just simply means we were not aligned. We were not aligned. I want to ask you this question. I want you to be honest with me. I want you to be transparent with me, my brothers and my sisters in the chat with me right now. While you're dating, put yes or no. Yes, I have. No, I have not. I want you to be honest with me. While you're dating, have you had a real in-depth conversation about money? Have you had a real in-depth? I'm talking about you all were having a real in-depth conversation about money. Thank you for being honest. If you're watching a replay about this, put yes or no inside the comment section. I want to know, have you had a real in-depth conversation? Did you know a most recent study too as well on the Harris poll revealed that money is the #1 cause of stress inside of relationships? According to a 2021 survey by Harris poll, 54% of Americans say money issues are the leading cause of relationship stress, and it's even higher among couples who are not financially transparent. So we're not even having a transparent conversation about money. But watch this though. I found this stat. This is an amazing stat by TD Bank. TD Bank. Couples who talk about money at least once a week are 42% more likely to describe their relationship as great. Ooh! Research from TD Bank shows that frequent, open financial discussions strengthen relationships and increase satisfaction, highlighting the value of regular money conversations. And here's what I've learned. Sometimes couples don't want to have the wealthy conversation. You know why? Because they don't have any money and they know that they are bad with money. And so because they're bad with money, they don't want to have the conversation about money. And so we get married without having an in-depth conversation about money. Now we have a problem. Now, now we have a problem. Now we have a problem. And so listen, after doing this research and really talking and really going deeper with people, I came out with a solution for this. I came up with a solution for this. I found the solution, you guys. And for everyone who said, no, I haven't had a conversation about this. I want to help you with this conversation. I'm sitting here blocking some people because, we got some people in here who just trolling and doing some stupid, idiotic stuff, man. So I'm just getting rid of some people because, it's just trolls, man. Trolls have nothing else to do with their time, y'all. Trolls have nothing to do with this time. Here's the solution. If you're ready to have the money conversation, thank you, Nathan, for the comment on the shirt, man. Purple is one of my favorite colors. Um, uh, if you're ready to have a conversation about money, if you're ready to really have a good, solid conversation about money, it's called the Wealthy Conversations card. Close to the screen. It's a dating edition. 52 questions inside of here. That's going to help you have an in-depth conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's going to really help you have an in-depth conversation about money. I'm going to put it inside of the show notes now. I'm also going to link it at the top. Wealthy Conversation cards. We're going to do this right here. HTTPS. AnthonyO'Neill.com/store. Boom. I just put it inside of the chat right there, and I pinned it. There's 3 reasons why I believe that while we're dating, I want to give you these and let you out of here in 5 minutes. Give me 5 more minutes of your time. You know what I'm saying? I want to offer you 3 reasons why you should be having this conversation while you're dating. Number 1, I want to say this. It aligns you with your financial goals. Oftentimes what I see within the body of Christ is we're quick to talk about abstinence and abstaining and avoiding sex before marriage. Like that is the most important thing when it comes to marriage. And I believe that it is very important to have that conversation. But it's not the only important thing to have it, because in the word that I read, that I'm studying, God actually talks more about money than any other subject inside the Bible, because he understands where our treasure is, so is our heart. Where the treasure is, so is our heart. Where the treasure is, so, oh shoot, y'all, I put the wrong link inside there. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me fix that. I'm sorry. Let me fix that. Hold on. Wealthy Conversation cards. HTTPS. AnthonyO'Neill.com. STORE. Make sure that's right. Okay. There you go. Right there you go. There you go. There you go. All right. So I just replaced the pin message. I clicked on it and it is opening up. And if you all get the cards tonight, we're doing 25% off for the next 24 hours. We've already sold over 500 cars. It's absolutely amazing. These cars are going to be a blessing to people who are seriously about dating. Don't worry about the trolls that are trolling right now. But if you really want to have a healthy marriage, if you really want to do this right, we're giving 25% off tonight. Simply by going to anthonyoneil.com/store. And you're going to have a wealthy conversation, because here's the thing. If you can get aligned on your financial goals from the very beginning while you're dating, watch this, you guys. It's going to help your marriage. It's going to help your dating experience. You know, and I saw a question here that said, man, what if I'm not dating anyone? That's fine. If you're single, have the conversation with yourself. Then when you get into a dating situation, bring up the cards and have a conversation. Because here's the thing too, if you're not having this conversation with yourself, how are you going to have a conversation with someone who you're dating if you don't know where you're starting at? You know, what's up, Snacks? Congrats on your debt-free journey. And so the number one reason why you should get these cars is because it's going to help you align with your financial goals. You know what's another reason why why you think why you should get these cars and have a wealthy conversation with your loved one? Is because it brings clarity. My thought for me when I think about connection is that the breeding ground for understanding in the end, right? As far as when we get to marriage, is having clarity from the very beginning. Clarity simply means that I move, right, with transparency up front. Babe, this is where I'm at financially. These are my goals. These are my desires. These are my beliefs. These are my thoughts. This is what I want to do. What are your beliefs? What are your thoughts? What are your questions? What are your concerns? Let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation. And so for my dating people, I want to help you have a wealthy conversation. If you're going to have the sex conversation, do you? If you're going to have the conversation about dreams and goals, do you? But if marriage is, if 40, what's that number? Hold on, I'm pulling my notes up again. If 41% of divorces are caused because of financial incompatibility, why are we not having a conversation while we're dating? Why? Why are we not having that conversation? Why are we not getting clarity from the very beginning? Why? Why? Why are we not doing that? So listen, you got to do that. Here's number one. Once you have these conversations, once you have the wealthy conversations, you're going to build financial trust early. If you build financial trust early, talking about money while dating helps establish transparency and trust, which I firmly believe are essential to long-term relationships and building an established foundation that you can stand on for marriage. It's hard to have the wealthy conversation. It's hard to have a dialed-in conversation for sure. I totally get it. But I want you to think about how your relationship could be better if you have this conversation. Classy is asking, when you try to have these conversations, what do you do if the person avoids giving straight answers? For Classy, this is why you have these conversation cards, because they're not so intrusive. These are cards that are beginning cards that lead you to the next deck of cards that I have for engaged and married couples. Now, once you get to engaged and married couples, yeah, we're getting very direct and we're getting into their personal business. The dating edition is really more so of the mindset. And watch this. You're already going to know the person's credit score without even asking what their credit score, because I have a question in there that helps you understand where they are when it comes to their credit. And so I think the reason why people beat around the bush, Classy, to answering the questions, because they're kind of ashamed to tell their personal business. But if we can just talk about mindset and thoughts behind money, it can help them be a little bit more comfortable to answer the question. Because, Classy, these are going to help you create a safe space to be transparent. These are going to help you create an environment that is comfortable for them to have and for you to be honest with. This is why you got to get the cars. They're 25% off. It's $25, y'all. You're getting 52 cars that can help you date better for $25. This ain't no game. This is going to help you understand. Watch this. It takes the weight off of you. So now the person can't say, why you asked me that question? You can say, well, no, I mean, we agreed that we would do this. It's a conversational starter. These are from Anthony O'Neill, who's a financial guy who came from sleeping in the back of a car from a middle-class home to building a seven-figure net worth. These are conversations that we need to be having. And Jinsky says, I cannot tell the woman my financial situation. No, that's only need to know basis. Well, Jinsky, you're not ready to get married. You just out here having a good time. I'm not saying you need to give her your salary. No, I don't want you to give her your salary. But if you're dating, Nisky, and if you're talking about sex, Nisky, if you're talking about doing this, why can't you have the conversation about money? If you're talking about what we gonna do, why can't you have a conversation about money? You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm so happy I'm on my own platform now, because some of the stuff we be saying be foolish and be pissing me off. And this is why we gotta have a conversation. We know how to get married and have amazing sex, but we don't know how to get married and build wealth together. We don't know how to get married and build a legacy together. We don't know how to get married and have a wealthy, healthy financial conversation. But we know how to have amazing sex. Oh, that just pissed me off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get crazy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Y'all forgive me. But Nisky is I don't know the brother. I love the brother. I never met him before. Don't know who he is. But that's the kind of stuff that be pissing me off. And that's why marriages fail. Because we're putting effort into things that bring no depth, that brings no substance to our lives. Good sex ain't paying bills. Good sex ain't building a legacy. Good sex is talking about what kind of dress you want ain't paying bills. Talking about what kind of house you want, what kind of car you want, your expectations. That ain't doing nothing for you. We got to snap out of that, man. And at 40, I'm realizing, yes, we got to talk about where do we stand on purity and abstaining before marriage. That is a real important conversation. But I know virgins who got married as a virgin in their wedding, and their marriage still didn't last because they didn't have a conversation about money. Huh? We got to have the conversation. We got to have the conversation. We got to. This is why, you guys, you got to get your hands on a brand new deck of cards, and they're called the Wealthy Conversation, the Dating Edition. It's 25% off tonight, 25% off for the next 2 days. We're celebrating the launch of my brand new store. I have for you married people, I would get this and give it to single people. But for married people in the next 2 weeks, I'm coming out with a Wealthy Conversation. Watch this. Engaged and Married Edition that comes with a journal. So now I'm going to teach you how do you come together. And when you come together, and Dr. D, I'm going to answer that question in a minute. But married people, I'm going to teach you, okay, now when we're having a conversation, 2 times a year, I want you to look at your net worth. And I'm going to teach you how do you gather your net worth. And inside the journal, you're going to track your note. Hey, our net worth in December going into January 2025 is this. Hey, our net worth in August, the second part of the year, is this. And when you get to December of 2025, you're going to be able to see where you started a year ago, and you'll be able to track your net worth. Why are couples not having the conversation about how are we growing financially? I'm going to teach you. I'm going to ask you questions inside of the same cars, but it's different cars for the married and engaged people. I'm going to teach you, hey, what are the goals that we want to have for our kids? And you got to write it down inside of your journal. Hey, this year we want to set aside $1,000 inside of a 529 account. Cool, great. And by the end of the year, you're going to be able to track and see, did you save that? So now this is going to be about tracking for the engaged and married edition, because this is about stewardship. Dating, this is about just having a conversation. Because we're going to date several people, let's be honest, in the single world. But when we're engaged and married, we got to take this to the next step. We got to take this to the next step. And now when we go through the questions, because for the engaged and married edition, you are supposed to go through the conversation, go through these cards 2 times a year. 2 times a year. And then after that, what happens? We come back and we track it. That's coming in about 2 weeks, married people. So you get that. But I'm going to go back to Dr. D's question. She said, when, Anthony, should we be having this conversation? Date 2. If that young man earned your date again, date 2. Young man, when should we bring it up? Date 2. These conversations are not hard. Let me open up this deck of cards for y'all. Let me show y'all what's inside. Let me give you some of this. Let me give you some of this right here. Let me give you some of this. Right. Let me open up a deck of cards for y'all, man. Okay. When you open them up, boom. See what's inside? Bow, bow, right? Let's open these things up. When you open up deck cards, first thing is going to be the instructions, your wealthy conversation instructions. Next thing is going to be a thank you note from myself. And then from there, it's just 52 questions. Let's take them up. Boom. Here's a good question. And watch this. The cards are not flimsy. Like they're not cheap. They're not a piece of paper. It takes a while for you to bend them. So they're going to last a good long time. But here is the front of the card. Then here is the back of the card. And the back says, do you think, here's one of the questions. And let's go ahead have some fun. Y'all answer these questions for me live on the chat. And if you're watching a replay of this, I want you to answer these inside the comments. Again, you can go to anthonyoneal.com/store right now to get your hands on these deck of cards. High quality. They're not flimsy. And they're 25% off, just to celebrate our new store. But then after this is going, we're going back up to full retail price, and we're going to keep them there forever, because I'm going to be like Louis Vuitton and Gucci. We're just never giving discounts again. But I really wanted to make sure that I introduce in a good way. But here's one of the questions. Do you think your partner should seek permission before making large purchases? If so, at what amount? So the question is asking, do you think partners, do you think, married couples, when they get married, should seek permission from each other before making large purchases? If you believe in that, if so, what amount? What amount? Let me see y'all. Yes. I see, yes, $1. Wow, Ron. I see another guy saying, yes, 1K and up. Yes, anything over $100. Monty says $100 or more. S&P says at any amount. Siobhan says at $500. I'm saying yes, 300. It should be talked about for sure. Anything $100 or plus. Okay. November says the amount is arbitrary. It depends on the financial goal and household income. Okay. Yes, but the amount depends on on who makes what. Ooh. BHP said yes, but the amount depends on who makes what. So BHP is saying if I make more money than you, then I necessarily don't have to ask you. Uh-oh. See? Y'all see what's happening? Now we're having a conversation. Adrian says, nope, I shouldn't have to ask. You see what I'm saying? Now we got to have a real conversation, because I haven't seen someone say how I would answer this question. I have not seen someone. The question again, for those of y'all just now joining in, says, do you think partners should seek permission before making large purchases? If so, at what amount? Do y'all want my answer? Put yes in the comment section. Put yes in the chat if you want my answer. Put yes in the chat if you want my answer. I'll give you my answer. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want my answer, the money God's answer. Okay. All right. All right. Here we go. Check this out. Do I believe that partners, me and my spouse, should seek permission before making any large purchases? If so, at what amount? No and yes. I firmly believe that as a couple, we're going to have a main checking account and then we're going to have our own spending accounts. So let's say, for an example, inside of our monthly meeting, I give my wife and I give each other permissions. We both agree, hey, I get $500 or $1,000 extra this month. You get another $500, $1,000 inside of your account. Cool, great. If you have $1,000 inside that account, if you want to go buy you a item that costs $500 out of your account that was allotted for you, you ain't got to ask me for nothing. We don't have to come back and have a conversation about you spending the money that was allotted to you to spend on your own. That's your checking account to do whatever you please with that. The yes comes into if we ever touch the main checking account outside of paying our bills, we got to have a conversation about that. Why? Because that main checking account pays our bills, is possibly saving for emergencies, is possibly doing saving for any big purchases or investment accounts. So anytime we go back to the main accounts, yes, we got to have a conversation. And it's not necessarily about asking permission. It's about having a conversation before we touch that account. But if you have your own spending account and you got $5,000 in that spending account and you see a $2,500 purse you want to buy and you spend it from your spending account, you ain't got to ask me for nothing. But watch this though. It's because we had a budget meeting before the month began and we allocated our funds correctly. Now you see S&P, that's why I said you got to have the wealthy conversation. Because if you don't know how people are thinking, do you see how me just asking this one question, do you think partners should seek permission before making large purchases? If so, at what amount? Y'all just put yes in the amount. This honestly started a conversation because now y'all just learned how I thought. Well, yes, I do believe that. But I also believe that if you're spending it from your money, no, we don't have to have a conversation. Now what happens? Wait, so you believe that we should have multiple accounts? Absolutely. Absolutely. We should. No, because what if I want to bless you with something? What if I want to surprise you with something, babe? I don't want to pull the money from the main checking account and you see I done bought roses. Now when you get the roses, you ought to see they coming. No, I want to have a little bit of privacy that I can support you and surprise you. You know? Gotta have it. Now watch this. I'll have access to her account. She'll have access to my account in the case of death, right? But there should be a level of privacy to where, hey, babe, because I want to be surprised by my baby girl. And I know she wants to be surprised by me. So listen. Y'all want another question before I get off of here? Do y'all want another question? Put yes if you want another question. Put yes if you want another question before I get off of here. For those of y'all just now tuning in, if you're just now tuning in, marriages are failing because we're not having a wealthy conversation. Marriages are failing because we're not having a wealthy conversation while dating. And so we came up with a brand new deck of cards called the Wealthy Conversations Dating Edition. And these are 52 questions that's going to walk you through how to have the conversation on date 2, date 3, and see if you and a friend are aligned. They are on sale tonight at 25% off for the next 24 to 48 hours. We've already sold over 500 deck of cards. Oh my gosh. And so I'm just amazed by how these are moving off the shelf. And if you would love to get your hand on a deck of cards, hey, they're like 25 bucks with the sale right now. You'll have it in your hand within a week or two, and I promise you, you will love these cards. Here's another question, and we're going to leave it at this. This is why it's very important. Very important. Y'all ready? I want to get your answer before I answer mine. Listen to me clearly. Here we go. How do you feel about lending money to family and friends? How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? Zara, I see your comment. How do you feel about lending money to family and friends? How do you feel? Now, mind you, keep this in mind. We're on date 2. How do you feel about lending money to family and friends? Mr. Rogers says, no, 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 no. Jasmine says, just you not going to get it back. Oh, I'm not a bank. Uh-oh. Don't lend anything you can't gift. Okay, Amber. Is it my money or our money? Okay, Dr. Dre. See what I'm saying? Do y'all see what I'm saying? Only lend what you can afford to lose. Ooh, can you afford to lose anything? See? Y'all see how this is starting a conversation? Y'all make me want to respond to all these things like, wait, what you mean by what you can't afford to lose? Just because I have money doesn't mean I can afford to lose it. And Mr. Rogers, I'm Mr. Rogers' wife. Heck no. I give, I don't lend. Here's the question again, one more time. For those of y'all who just now coming in, how do you feel about lending money to family and friends? How do we feel about lending money to family and friends? This is the last question I'm going to answer. Do y'all want my answer? Put yes. Put yes inside of the comment section if you want my answer. If you want my answer, put yes inside of the comment section. I see a whole bunch of yeses. I recently had a family member call me and ask me to lend them money. Family. And what I've learned when it comes to lending money is if I lend them money, I help them for a temporary season, but I don't help them change their life. So my philosophy is I will give you the money one time if I can afford to give. Now watch this. I check my budget before I do it because every single month I have a give allowance on side of my budget. This is to where I give extra offering maybe, I give to a nonprofit. I intentionally figure out a way on how to give. Once I give away whatever's in my budget, I don't give it anymore. Because I don't care if I got $20 million inside the account. I can't afford to lose, watch this, $1,000. What do you mean, Anthony? You got millions inside of your account. How come you can't afford to lose 1,000? Well, if I take $1,000 out of my investment portfolio, I'm not just taking out 1,000 because if I let that $1,000 sit inside of my mutual funds or inside of real estate or inside an investment account, and I get anywhere from a 4.6% all the way up to 23.5% on it, like what we did in the year of 2023. I didn't just lose 1,000. I possibly lost 10,000, 20,000, $30,000, depending on how long that money sit there. So I can't afford to lose 1,000, yet alone $100 on someone who's not mature enough to handle the blessing. So my philosophy is I'll help you one time. I'll give to you one time. I don't need to lend nothing to you because I love our relationship so much that money ruins relationships. So, baby, when it comes to this, if we were to get married, if we were to take this thing seriously, how do you feel about that? If your brother, if your sister, if your mom is always calling to ask us for money to lend, how would you feel with my answer? See how that starts the conversation? She may disagree. I know I'm always going to take care of my mom and my daddy. If they always ask me for money, I'm going to give it to them. Cool, great. Let's have that conversation. What does that look like? Because now, watch this. What if you have to choose between helping your mom or providing for your kids? What if you lend money to your mom and you take away provision from our kids? Now I want to know. Now we're having a conversation. This is why, you see, having a conversation, having the wealthy conversation while dating brings clarity, and it lets you know what kind of man you're dating. It lets you know what kind of woman you're dating. And it should be so good. Um, so many good questions in here, man. I know ladies want to ask, I know ladies want to answer this. They want this question answered. Watch this. Every lady's going to want to know this answer. How do you plan on balancing spending on yourself and on me, your family? I think it's a good question. How do you plan to balance spending on yourself and on me or your family? It's a great conversation, man. Listen, these are questions that's going to help you not just answer the question yes or no. It's going to be a healthy dialogue. It's going to be a healthy question, a conversation starter. And so listen, you can get these cards on my website tonight. I want you to click the link inside of the show notes or on the chat. Go to anthonyoneil.com/store. Get the cards. They're 25% off for the next 24 to 48 hours. And I promise you, you'll thank me. Don't forget, when you start having these conversations, you build trust early, you align with financial goals, and you avoid financial conflict. I don't want you to be a part of the stat of getting married and then you're failing in your marriage simply because of finances. Single people, if you are dating, if you want to start dating in a healthy way, or if you're not dating, these are good questions to start your brain going and having a wealthy conversation with yourself. And so I'm excited about these cards, and I can't wait for the next 2 weeks to roll out the single and married edition cards. I'm super excited. Yo, I love you all. God bless you. I thank you so much for joining me tonight. And share this video with somebody. Let someone know that we're creating something that's going to be, I believe, impactful and help us get there. All right. And so I'm on my way to Ghana, Africa. So y'all pray for me. Listen,